What's up guys, JV2017 here, and I am bringing you a new Fallout 4 tips and tricks video. We are continuing my companion guide series with the Brotherhood of Steel's most trusted Paladin. Just a quick reminder guys, this is your hub for daily Fallout 4 content here on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned on my channel for daily Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos. Today I'm going to share my companion guide for Paladin Danse, who is arguably one of the strongest all-around companions to have by your side. In this video we'll discuss how to get Paladin Danse, what his stats look like, how to increase his affinity, and finally the effectiveness of his companion-specific perk. Before we cover some background info for Danse, I want to warn you that there will almost certainly be spoilers in the comment section about this character on this video. If you don't want to know anything about his origin, do not read the comments. I won't be going into detail with his origin because you can just learn that by playing the game. This is more about the mechanics of Danse than his origin, so just play the game to find that out for yourself. Just watch out for the comments. On to his background. Danse grew up as an orphan in the Capital Wasteland, which should be familiar because it's the setting of Fallout 3, in DC. He was able to scrape by selling junk in Rivet City, which is obviously a location in Fallout 3, a really cool location, and then was recruited by the Brotherhood of Steel. So Danse proved to be a successful soldier growing up and rose to be Elder Maxson's favorite paladin. So the player basically meets Danse after he was sent on a recon mission to the Commonwealth to investigate signs of Institute activity, and that's where we pick up with his story with the player meeting him in the game. Paladin Danse is waiting for the player outside of the Cambridge police station, and this location is pretty much due south of Lexington, in between Lexington and Diamond City. So pretty accessible in the early game. However, you can't have Danse as your companion unless you progress in the story. So first you'll need to complete the quest Call to Arms, which is what you're going to see throughout this video. This is basically the introduction quest. Like I said, after you meet Danse at the Cambridge police station, he will give you this next, and you just follow it all the way through, and then you'll meet him back at the Cambridge police station, which is the Semper Invicta quest. So essentially, you need to make sure you do both of those things, and then you'll need to complete the quest Reunions, which is where you see the airship come over kind of in the sky. It's huge, and then you'll get the quest Shadow of Steel. That's the quest that you have to complete in order to have Danse as your companion. So it doesn't matter if you've already met Danse at the police station before you've done the main story, or if you do the main story and then go and find Danse. You're gonna have to do both of those things in order to have Danse as your companion. Moving on to the special stats associated with Paladin Danse, his stats are 11, 10, 8, 8, 8, 10, and then 7 luck for 62 total special points. So again, I don't believe there's much going on with these special points. However, I do think that the strength has something to do with carry weight, because as you see here, Paladin Danse has 210 carry weight, which is actually more than strong. This is the most in the game. So if you are about picking up everything you see and you don't want to take, strong back, for example, bringing Paladin Danse with you to carry all of your stuff is probably a really good idea. Additionally, Paladin Danse is immune to radiation damage. So that means if you go out to the glowing sea, he will not suffer from that radiation damage, which is definitely a good thing. Paladin Danse is always in his power armor. You can use mods on PC or other glitches in order to get him out of his armor, but I just wouldn't do that. It looks really weird and you won't get the benefits from him being in the power armor. But of course, this makes sense. He's in power armor, so he's going to have that radiation resistance. Now let's talk about companion affinity, which is pretty much this game's term for loyalty. So this is pretty much how Paladin Danse perceives the player. So he's going to react to certain actions that you take, whether it's killing an innocent person or, making a certain kind of dialogue choice or a major quest choice. Danse will react to that based on his own kind of preferences. So once you are able to max out that affinity, he will grant you a companion perk. However, you don't have to have Danse with you in order to benefit from the perk. You just got to make sure that you're still in good standing with Danse. If you piss him off, you might, lose that maximum affinity and lose that companion perk. The way this system works is you'll say something or do something, and it'll say in the top left corner, Paladin Danse loved that, liked that, disliked that, or hated that. And that kind of gives you a barometer for how much that will affect your affinity with him. So obviously, if you want to increase Danse's affinity in order to get that companion perk, you just got to do things that Danse likes or loves, and that will increase his affinity to the 1,000 mark. So there's kind of like an invisible bar within the game that you can't see, unfortunately, and you have to make sure that bar goes all the way up to 1,000 in order to max out that affinity. Additionally, Danse is a romanceable character, so you can romance at the maximum amount of affinity. However, keep in mind you don't have to romance him in order to get his companion perk. That's completely an optional thing. If you want to romance them, invest in charisma. So if you're a fan of Fallout and you've got a Buzz Lightyear fetish, this is definitely the guy for you. Let's talk about what Paladin Danse likes and dislikes, because there are specific choices that you can make within the game, and he will react to them accordingly. So if you have this in the back of your mind and you're trying to max out that affinity, then this will definitely help you out. So let's start out with what we're calling the general affinity. So these are just general attitudes or kind of, ways you could go in conversation that Paladin Danse will react to. So Paladin Danse likes it when the player is nice or violent, which is very weird. And additionally, he dislikes it when the player is mean or peaceful. So it's really weird. So you can't be nice and peaceful or violent and mean. Going that way would kind of offset those choices, and you wouldn't get any, affinity gained if you were to do those two things. So essentially, you got to find a way to be nice and violent in order to increase his affinity with general choices. But Paladin Danse also has more specific preferences when it comes to player choices with his specific affinity. So Paladin Danse likes it when the player enters power armor. That makes sense because he's always in power armor. That's kind of a Brotherhood of Steel thing. Also, he likes it when the player enters a vertibird. Obviously, you'll need to get that by, kind of choosing the BOS and getting those signals. And also, he likes it when you modify armor or modify weapons. So a lot of characters like it when you modify armor or weapons, and we're going to take advantage of that when I show you guys how to boost his affinity very quickly. He also has a set of specific dislikes. So he doesn't like it when the player eats corpses, which is hilarious. So if you're going after cannibal, you're not going to please Paladin Danse. He also doesn't like it when you murder non-hostiles, people that are not trying to attack you. He doesn't like it when you pick locks that are owned, so you're basically breaking into places. He doesn't like it when you steal or pickpocket either. So Paladin Danse really exemplifies what the Brotherhood stands for. They are very much about keeping order and, carrying out their mission. I think Paladin Danse's affinity choices definitely reflect that. Since he is pretty much, the best, most trusted paladin of Elder Maxson, it does make perfect sense. There is definitely a way to boost your affinity with Paladin Danse if you're, impatient or just want to get his perk very quickly. I don't blame you because his perk is fantastic. We're about to talk about that. But there is a way to boost his affinity very quickly, and it's basically by attaching weapon mods in a certain kind of fashion in a very specific way until the maximum affinity is achieved. So we're going to go through that process step by step right here, right now. So essentially what you have to do is go to a weapons workbench and attach a weapon mod. It doesn't matter which weapon mod it is, just make one and then have another one kind of ready to put back on. So once you attach one weapon mod, you'll see in the top left that Paladin Danse likes that, or whatever it may be, and then you need to quick save immediately after that. So back out of the weapons workbench, quick save, and then you're going to pause right after you quick save and load. So you click load and then go to the exact same quick save that you just made. Once you sit through the loading screen, which shouldn't take long, on PC it's not very long for me, but it might be a little longer on consoles, you're going to attach another weapon mod. So the one that I said you kind of have in your back pocket, attach that one, or just remove the one that you had before, and also Paladin Danse will like that, and that will increase his affinity. So essentially you're going to keep doing the same process over and over and over. So for example, after attaching that second mod, you're going to quick save again and then load that same quick save and then come back after the loading screen and do the same thing. That will increase your affinity just bit by bit, and it will go up until you get max affinity. At that point, you'll need to talk to Paladin Danse, see what's going on with him, and he will give you some kind of dialogue cue saying, you know what, we are best buds now, we have our maximum affinity, we're awesome, let's go out and kick some ass. And you will get a notification once you get his companion perk, and the name of that perk is Know Your Enemy. So this is one of my favorite companion perks. I think it's one of the strongest in the game. You get plus 20% damage against feral ghouls, super mutants, and synths, just across the board, 20% more damage. I think this is easily one of the best companion perks to get in this game. It's really easy to get by boosting your affinity. Unfortunately, you have to play through a certain amount of story in order to get Paladin Danse and then boost his affinity. But if you don't want to have to just deal with bringing him around in the world and making sure you're catering to his every, preference, likes, and needs, you can just boost it like I just showed you guys, and you'll be able to get that companion perk. And as long as you're not pissing him off, you will have that with you no matter what, which is really awesome. I mean, if I were to rank this companion perk, I'd put it up there with Preston's, because Preston's is kind of a situational thing. The thing I love about this one is it's not situational. You're just gonna have this damage buff against feral ghouls, mutants, and synths. That's a big portion of what you're gonna be fighting in the game, especially if you're going against the Institute. So again, I would put this up there at best companion perk next to Preston's and McCready's because I don't believe that's been patched yet. That is just ridiculously overpowered, and by the time I get to the companion guide, I hope it is patched, but this is also just a very good companion perk that will not get patched. This is going to be good no matter what. So I'd like to know, after watching this video, will you use Paladin Danse? Have I convinced you that he's a really good companion? Because honestly, I think he really is. The only downside I would say is that he's really judgy. If you don't like the BOS's views, and it's kind of annoying to have him around because he will chime in and kind of, you know, talk so much. He does talk a lot. It's not as annoying as Preston, but Danse does talk a lot. That's something you'll have to deal with, but honestly, he's definitely one of my favorite companions to bring around the game. He's very strong. He's got a great companion perk. He sounds like George Clooney. He looks like Buzz Lightyear. What more could you ask for? Anyways, let me know what you guys think about Paladin Danse in the comment section below. Alright guys, today I shared everything you need to know about Paladin Danse and Fallout 4. And next time we'll cover more Fallout on my channel, so stay tuned for daily Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos, and remember that this is your hub for Fallout 4 content on YouTube. If you learned something new, remember to hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe for more unique weapon guides, build guides, companion guides, and general tips and tricks videos. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.